Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Now, I'm going to try to get through this quickly because this is take two, because not that I messed up the first one, but it took almost 50 minutes. So I'm trying to condense this down a little bit. But a couple of points I want to hit. We've been decoding the agreed upon section of Bible changes. We've got our letters to go through the categories. We've got our numbers to go forwards and backwards through finance slash stock market, genetics. We got to go through chemical, forwards and backwards, and now we're coming forwards through, medical, and now we're coming forwards through chemical. All right, we got forwards and backwards on the rest of it, but I wanted to mention another point that Phantom Dexter mentioned, that he thought metal was getting hit on or targeted on purpose. And I should have asked him if he meant metal music or metal itself. And I wish I would have. And the reason is we got a whole bunch of steel hits on this. And so metal, maybe, yeah. And the other thing I wanted to mention, for those who didn't see our last video, is that we're using DuckDuckGo as our search engine for now. And the reason that is because Google indicated to us that it might be a liar. My fiance asked the Google app, which is an AI, if it would ever lie to her, and it didn't answer. And then she asked it again, and it delayed for a second. And there was internet, even though our internet's been bad, but there was internet at the time, and it delayed for a second, and then come up with this thing that said Google is a lying liar that lies. So we were like, well, that is an AI, and it just told us it may deceive us. Okay, that's fair enough. So we just decided to switch to a different search engine. Now, do I think that all the stuff we got from Google is bad? No, I don't. Especially after accidentally typing a couple of these in a Google search instead of my DuckDuckGo and finding some very similar results. So, no, I don't think it's bad, but I think it will deceive. I think it will mislead, and I think it will lie because it said so. So, we're kind of getting away from that, trying a different search engine. So, now, um, and also, we may walk away. We've chosen sequences of 4 for this chemical search. And we may walk away from this method of trying to punch a hole in our theory, and I think that's a good thing to do. But in the same time, I think, especially in some of our shorter searches, we're going to end up leaving a lot of information on the table. Now, in a long search like this, I think we can get away with leaving a little information on the table because we're going to leave information on the table anyway. There's just too much. Too many letters, too many ways I could run it. All right. But we may go back to our just trying to get all the information we can, because bar and grill and bar is going to be relatively short by comparison. So if we try to make it fail, even if we fail or if we succeed, either way we're going to be leaving information on the table, and I think it's good information. So just to point that out. But for now, we're running sequences of 4 to see if it'll run through or not. And I used 5 on the medical to avoid a bunch of phone numbers, but in this case, I just went with sequences of 4. And so I'll provide a link for how we properly extracted these, but our numbers are corresponding to the letters, and they go all the way across, come back, and go back to here. You can pause that, back it up, pause it, take a look. But I do not want this to run for 50 minutes. So we're going to try to get through this quickly. Now, if you start with 9556, we're coming forward now for chemical. You end up with a chemical ID, heptafluorobirylenide. That's on PubChem. But you also end up, more interesting to me was chemical analysis, Stolk Labs. All right. But if you go through here, you got a whole bunch of stuff. You got conformal prediction of biological activity for chemical compounds. You got, I don't see my number here. I'm going to skip the part number for now. You guys can look at it. But you got chemical. Do I see my number? It's like I'm going through all this again. No, I don't see my number, but you got a material data sheet. And once again, I don't see my number. But the first things, the chemical analysis Stolk Labs was what caught my attention and some of the rest of it. But if you move on from that, you get 1765, and that ends up being Cameo Chemicals data sheet. UN/NA 1765 Cameo Chemicals, NOAA. All right. So you get that. You get white chemical PTFE packing. You get CAS number 1765. Stigma Aldrich, and this comes up quite a bit. So does Cameo Chemicals, guys. It comes up in a lot of these. You got chemical peels. You got a chemical bank phone number. Chemical bank. Petoskey North Branch. Chemical Bank North Branch is one of the 238 offices of the bank that has been serving the financial needs of their customers in Petoskey, Michigan for over 18 years. So you got a chemical bank, whatever that, I guess it's just a financial institution called Chemical Bank, but it's kind of interesting. You've got 1765 ICSC 1765 Dodsenol. You got a specification guide for hoses, and I'm trying to see if my number's there. I don't necessarily see my number, so disregard that. But you have to look for the number not to be there on occasion. I'll provide these searches, guys. But if you move on from that, you have 5391. And 5391 ends up being Lubrizol 5391, AmericanChemicals.com. Looks like a drug. You also have 5391 Stigma Aldrich. Molecular Biology Research Essentials. Chemical Synthesis Molecular Biology Research Essentials. All right, that's that Stigma Aldrich. You also have temazepam. That's a chemical formula, chemical ID. Czech Republic. Okay, here, 5391 steel, steelgrades.com. So there's some steel stuff for you. You also have SID 5391, activated tRNA. That's on PubChem. Lubrizol again. Tropicamide. All right, so there's a page of stuff. Make note of that steel stuff, maybe, because there's other steel stuff in here. But if you move on from that, you got 7111, and that ends up being benzidide. And that's going to be your chemical ID. You also have Better Built Chemicals. You got a phone number for a 24-hour data sheet. ABX data sheet product number 7111. You got a phone number for 21st Century Chemical Incorporated in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You got Hyperdrex 7111, specialty chemical products suppliers. You got something like methaphenol, methanol. 7111-76-4. You got chemicals, SSC equipment and supplies. So you got some chemical equipment. You have arsenic acid on ChemSpider. All right, that's a page of results. For the sake of time, we're going to move on. And you get 5142. Oh, 5142 ends up being 1.5142 data sheet, a chemical data sheet, technical specification, German standards, spring steel. So you're dealing with steel and Germany. You've also got some cameo chemicals, NOAA. You got methylamine, methyl. You got a couple of methyl deals. One on Cayman Chemical, one on PubChem. You got data sheet for steel grades, carbon steel. You got CAS number 5142-23-4 stigma aldrich. You got sulfonamide on ChemSpider. You got autophagy inhibitor. So, yeah, that's about a page of that stuff. And if you move on from that, you have 8582. And 8582 ends up being cameo chemicals. Diacetyl sodium sulfoxanate. Cameo chemicals, NOAA, 8582. You also have Helena Chemical Company, agricultural products and producers. You got a chemical structure, 5852, something I'm not going to try to pronounce right now. That's on ChemSpider. Chemical vapor disposition. So monolayer grown by chemical vapor disposition. You got chemical accidents with urea. The numbers there. You got a few things going on with that, guys. I'll provide the search. If you move on from that, you wind up with 5171, and that ends up being Raybo Chemical Company. That's a telephone number. You end up with PLUM 5171 Quick Safe Chemical Eye Wash First Aid. That's on Amazon. You got a safety data sheet for carpenters. You got that a few times. You got Carpol, CARPOL GP 5171 polyether polyol. That's for carpenters again. Chemical resistant filters that I didn't see my number on, so forget that. You also have an SID 5171 on PubChem. So if you move on from that, you wind up with 1117. Well, that ends up being carbon steel, guys. Again, AISI 1117 carbon steel materials engineering. You have SAE 1117 steelgrades.com, carbon steel, steel. So you got cold drawn steel bar stock, Chem 1117, speedy metals information for C1117. So you got several steel hits there, metal. All right, well, steel. So if you move on from that, you have 1951. And 1951 ends up being chemistry versus chemical engineering. That was the first hit. And there's the number, 1951, right there in the web address. Chemical engineering. Choosing between science and technology. Continue your search. Okay, so the short one-sentence explanation is chemists do a thorough research before allowing a new drug to be released on the market, while chemical engineers help design and operate the equipment that produces that drug. All right. I bet. You also have 3-cent stamp, but I'm disregarding that. You also have NFPA 1951, Standard on Protective Ensembles for let's see. This standard shall specify the minimum design, performance testing, and certification requirements for utility technical rescue, rescue and recovery, technical rescue, and chemicals, biological agents, and radiological particles, also known as chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear, CBRN, technical rescue, protective ensembles for use by emergency services. All right. Progress in petroleum technology. Do I see my number? I don't. Moving on. But that gets you that gets you a few things on 1951. And I'll provide these. You guys can look. If you move on from that, you got 2142. And 2142, I wrote down HR 2142. Which is Interdict Act. So it provides U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CPB, enhanced chemical screening devices and scientific support to detect and intercept fentanyl and other synthetic opioids. All right. You also have SIS 142142, grade 2142 steel. So there's some more steel. You also have Stigma Aldrich again. You got Spectrum Chemical, a chemical there. So you got a few things going on with that. But if you move on from that, you have 9412, which ends up being several things, guys. I wrote down Isosil on PubChem. It's a chem ID. But you also have nitrobenzofluoride on ChemSpider. These sound like drugs. It's an ID. Pharmaceutical, right? You got V9142 Yellow Specialty Chemicals, Fitz Chemical LLC, or Fitz Chem LLC, excuse me. Paper Chemical Pro Performance Fresh Scent Dish Detergent, which, I meant to leave that out. You got Transwestern Chemicals Incorporated, but I don't see my number. You have chemical and physical information, and there's 9412. So you got a few things going on with that. For the sake of time, we're moving on, guys. 3633 is your next number, and you end up with hydroxylamine sulfate, Cameo Chemicals. So there's Cameo Chemicals again. You also have Stigma Aldrich again, 3633. You got a water combination test refill kit, 3633. There's your Cameo Chemical. You also have another thing on ChemSpider, isogufacine, RED 3633. Thiagen Golan Chemical. You got a safety data sheet, BASF, safety data sheet, Acronal 3633. You got CPID, what's in products.com. And among a couple of other things, guys. So there's some stuff there. But if you move on from that, you wind up with 8595, and you get Dodecanol on Cameo Chemicals, NOAA. Again, 8595. So there's Cameo Chemicals again. There's Austin Group Executive Search. They deal with chemicals. Hydrocarbon resin. There's your number. You got another safety data sheet. Oh, yeah, this was one Freeman Supply, but the first time I scrolled through here, before I really looked at it and just saw it coming into my, as it comes up, I thought it said Freemason Supply. And then I had to look closer, and it was Freeman Supply, Freeman Supply. So that's interesting. I thought it said Freemason, and the supply is capitals, so the S kind of stood out. Before I really looked at it, I thought it said Freemason, but it doesn't. You also have an MD. You know they deal in drugs and chemicals. You also get a sector guide, Huntsman Corporation. So you got a few things going on with that. But if you move on from that, you have 2951, and that ends up being a data sheet for steel grades again. So you also get a product sheet, Jost Chemical Company. There's the number. Diffusinol. There's a drug. It's an ID, chemical ID. You got a BTK inhibitor, M2951. That's where we're at, 2951. There's your data sheet for steel grades, special steel. You also have FEMA, FEMA number 2951. Chemical search engine, so FEMA. I'm not sure if it's the government thing or not, or the federal corporation thing or not. I got to break myself with that. It's not a government; it's a federal corporation. If I know better, then I need to say it right, right? So, yeah, I don't know if it's the federal corporation FEMA or if this is something else. But you also have 2951 chemical shifts in coupling constants. And you got another deal down here, 2951. So dibutyrophosine. Woo, these things are tough to pronounce, guys, but there's the number. So if you get past that, you wind up with 2622. That ends up being Germany, DIN 1.2622 steel. And it's a data sheet. So there's another German data sheet on steel. You get cefapime, and that is on PubChem, compound 2622. Bisulfites, 2622. That's Cameo Chemicals again. You got Stigma Aldrich again, 2622. There's Cameo Chemicals. So, and then you got a couple of other chemicals here, one on ChemSpider that I'm not going to try to pronounce for the sake of time. Oh yeah, you got a chemical biological mask. Chemical or biological to protect personnel or animals against chemical or biological contamination. So, then you got phosphorus, CAS number 2622-14-2. Strem product catalog. All right. Well, if you move on from that, you have 6223, our last set of 4, and it is gibberellic acid on ChemSpider. But that's not all you got. You got chemindustry.com for you got chemical information there. You got National Association of, wait a minute, do I see my number? No, I don't see my number. I'm going to blow by that. You got chemical hoses and products in Houston, Texas. You got some more chemicals here. CAS number 6223. You got another thing I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but it's there, 6223. Astro, well, no, I don't see that. And that's not my number either. But general chemical resistance, you got DuPont, Caltrez, 6221. So you got a phone number to the Chemical Educational Foundation. You got what is LSD made from? Desert Hope. National Association of Chemical Distributors, but I don't see my number. So you got another chemical search engine hit. I might have opened another page of this particular one, but you got a label database for chemicals, key 6223. So you got quite a few things going on there that could very easily be relevant. And that gets you through going forwards in chemicals. All right. So yeah, I took from that some steel stuff and some chemical stuff and a lot of data sheets. All right. So and some pharmaceutical stuff, right? So you got multiple things going on there, and that's just forwards. So we will come back, and that's gonna do it. So did we get all that? So for now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And again, we'll be coming back in chemical next, and then we'll move on to atomic weights, which I think I will just go through in multiple combinations and see what's there. See if it's steel, toxins, what do we got? So, but first, again, backwards in chemical, period. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. And again, we apologize that it's taken so long between bad internet and slow upload times and being busy. Not getting as far as we'd like. So, and we've been still thinking about our EHS video, and more information comes to us all the time on that. And there's been a lot of things going on lately that have prevented us from having the time to do that. And we said we were going to do it a long time ago, but we're hoping to get to it in a quick fashion. So anyway, guys, you know what's quick now. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.